org.
You're listening to AchieveRadio.com. A new drummer for a new awakening.
Across the realms and around the world, welcome to Outside the Box. Tonight, your host and vessel of spirit is Nancy Zilversmit. We hope that you will learn to have the strength and courage to step outside the box and dwell with spirit, and to leave the old beliefs that hold you down behind you and rediscover your spirituality in new ways. Hello, it is June 4th, 2015, and this show is brought to you by www.sanctuaryofsacredspace.com. As far as events, I have an ongoing event right now going on with a tarot class. If you are a previous student of mine, you can come and join us. Just give me a heads up that you're coming, and bring your Rider-Waite cards, your old notes, and a donation. You're not charged any specific amount. If you are a previous student, just bring a donation with you. And let me know you're coming so I can set up appropriately. And that is on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. That is in my home office. And if you need to get a hold of me, you can either find me on Facebook and private message me there. My name is Nancy Zilversmit. Just look directly under my name. All kinds of stuff will pop up, including some of the things that I talk about on the show. If you need to get a hold of me in another manner, my email is nancy@sanctuaryofsacredspace.com. And I believe there's a link on my website on Achieve Radio on the Outside the Box page. It is www.achieveradio.com/outside. You'll find all the information there. And I will be taking readings tonight, or if you wish to call in or in quick and talk about a short story of where you've had gratitude in your life, that would be good too. It doesn't matter how small or how big it was. We're going to talk about gratitude today, and I also will be telling some of my stories. And gratitude is something that, I give gratitude whether I have something good going on or something bad going on. Usually by the end of the day, I give gratitude or I'll give thanks after a situation is over with, because you have to look at the underlying reason why something happens. And I always thank Spirit even when I have an issue, a problem. And it's like yesterday I was working around the house. I was repairing things. I was moving things. I was cleaning things. And I've been doing this consistently for a few weeks now, not taking a whole lot of time off. Well, I did pull my back lifting bags of gravel for another project, and they're still sitting in my car because I could not take them out on my own because my back was hurting. So I had to take time out the rest of the afternoon, rest, relax, take an aspirin, let hot water run on my back, whatever I needed to do, and stretch, actually counter stretch the back spasm. I don't have it today. It's just I know that the area is still sore, but the spasms are gone. But I had to teach a class last night, and I let my students know that sometime I'm going to stand up and walk around because my back was in spasm. And it was okay. By this morning, it was gone. Well, the reason why is the Spirit wanted me to slow down because I'm constantly doing things. Well, some of them needed immediate attention, such as plumbing going out again this week. Kitchen sink, we tore it apart. There was a leak. We found out it was in the sprayer itself. We had to pull that whole hose out of there. Gasket was shot. take it to Home Depot, take it to Ace Hardware, take it to the local places around town, and they all tell you the same thing. Oh, that company doesn't sell individual parts. You have to go to their website. And it's just like, yeah. So we went to Amazon instead, got a universal piece, and it's going to come in today. Hopefully they just leave it in the box outside because they're due to be dropping it off at any time now. And I'm in the middle of a show, and I'm not going to go ahead and answer the door. As a matter of fact, I unhooked the doorbell. But the thing is I have gratitude for the fact that I'm able to get the part myself. And it's going to be like a 5-minute repair job once I get the part. The other piece of plumbing that went out, and it usually costs me anywhere from $100 to $200 every time we call out a plumber for multiple problems. The other piece was the washer sewer line got plugged again. And this is like, usually it's a major thing that I have to get up on the roof and run a snake through. Gratitude is the fact that we were able to do it ourselves this time. I did have to have one of my sons with me to turn on and off the hose, but it's just like I snaked the thing and ran a broomstick down it, which dislodged whatever it was that the snake didn't get, and then ran a hose down it. And it's just like, that saved me several $100s. And it's just like, okay, put it all back together and do the laundry. And hopefully this afternoon we'll be also cleaning in the kitchen because I'm tired of hauling water back and forth from the bathroom to the kitchen for things. But the thing is I'm grateful for the fact that we were able to fix this stuff ourselves, and didn't cost us an arm and a leg. Didn't cost us an arm and a leg. Matter of fact, the laundry didn't cost us anything. And through this whole thing, every time we get plumbing issues, I just go like, please, Spirit, let cost me an arm and a leg this time. And it costs $31 for the piece for the kitchen sink, and that's all it costs this time. So it's a good thing. It's all good. But gratitude, little things, when problems happen, I pray right through, the whole thing. Prayer is talking to Spirit. So I talk to Spirit a lot during situations that come up, and it's just like, well, okay, we've been through this situation before. What's the lesson here? I know sometimes it involves me bringing in another person, usually a relative. Is there a lesson there? Yada, yada, yada. Well, learning from watching the plumbers and doing things ourselves, we have learned lessons on how to take care of this stuff. And it's a good thing. So we give gratitude because we are learning. And learning to become a little more self-sufficient. In the last couple of years, I've had to tear off toilets and replace plumbing and haul out. Oh my God, my kitchen sink was horrible underneath. Former owner had in there a osmosis filter and garbage disposal, which when one of those goes, it backs up, it stinks, and the whole bit, the filter never worked. So we tore everything out of there, and I put in new plumbing. I put the plumbing in myself, and then I had my son help me with some of the water lines, which were separate from the major plumbing piece. And it's like gratitude. We were able to do things ourselves, because I remember when we first moved in one of the other bathrooms, we had to call in a plumber because my husband couldn't do it. And it was less complicated than what I just did under the kitchen sink. So he had to pay a couple $100s for that. And it's just like, seriously? Yeah, I do my own plumbing now. So gratitude when Spirit gives us something to make us slow down, and then gives us something to take care of, and always show some gratitude. Okay, I'm going to give a definition of gratitude out of the Webster's 1851 dictionary, and then I'm going to give the modern version. Also out of the Webster's, but the online one that they have up now. So gratitude in 1851 meant an emotion of the heart excited by a favor or a benefit received, a settlement of kindness or goodwill towards a benefactor, thankfulness, and an agreeable emotion, a disposition to make a specific return of benefits or services. Nowadays we hear, okay, when we do services for each other, there has to be some exchange of energy. the energy is gratitude. And sometimes that's all you need is gratitude. That is still an exchange of energy. People think, oh, I need to give this person something physical. Well, that's nice as well. But gratitude is also giving thanks. It's giving thanks, and that's an energy of exchange. So let's see. When no return can be made, and this is still the 1851, when no return can be made with a desire to see then you make a desire to see the benefactor prosperous and happy. So you tell them in gratitude, I hope that you are prosperous and happy. And gratitude is a virtue of highest excellence, implying a fasting and generous heart and a proper sense of duty. This is what gratitude was in 1851. What do we call gratitude now in the dictionary? The state of being grateful, thankfulness. Period. That's it. That's all we get now. We get so much more depth with the older descriptions. It's like when you look at history books that were written during the time that history was taking place, and you see what they're teaching now in classes. It's like the 1851 description, full page, versus the one line. That's how humanity is rewriting things. They just don't have the stamina to sit there and read, to pay attention, to learn as it was. They'd rather go to a movie. And sometimes a movie can be pretty explicit too. The Water Diviner, which was a recent Russell Crowe movie. If it's still out in the theaters, go see it. If not, pick it up on DVD or cable later. But it's a very good story. If you can get the book, read the book. I'm sure it gives you more detail. If you see the movie, it goes into what's going on behind the scenes in World War I with the Australian military volunteers to the British Army, and this gentleman who had he's a water diviner, so he has a very spirit connected ability, and he uses that to find his sons, whether they're dead or alive. And I won't give you the outcome of that. But so definition of how things are done. The movie was very graphic. The book, I'm sure, is even better, and that's with any movie. So look at definition, but also look at things from older terms, especially things like gratitude. I mean, there is so much here that I really, really like in the old definition as compared to the new definition. The new definition it gives you the one-liner state of being grateful, thankfulness. And then it gives an example, let me express my sincere gratitude for all your help. We remember with gratitude those who died defending our country. Well, more than that. It's a lot more than that. Also, its origin for the word is a Middle English, Anglo-French, or Medieval Latin. So they're still not, perfect. They're not perfect. This is off the modern description as to where this came from, but they're kind of looking at it from different angles. So medieval Latin would have been gratitudo. From the Latin gratitus, means grateful. So, and let's see, we have, okay. I have a lot of little different stories, which I'm probably going to put in and out of here, showing gratitude to people you love. And so I've got different categories I'm going to read pieces of, not all of it, but pieces of, and then we'll insert a story here and there. So that's because that's what I am. I like to tell stories. So sharing a specific example of something that a person did for you. This is showing gratitude to people who love you. Not everybody loves you, but there's different ways of approaching gratitude. And sharing a specific example for what they did for you and how it made a difference in your life. That's, if you've got somebody who's feeling down, who's feeling depressed, go over and give them this little pump up of gratitude and tell them what they did for you in their lifetime, and tell them a little story. Remember when we did this and that? Well, I'm very grateful because it changed my life in this way. I used to work as a volunteer for a nonprofit, and I would help people prepare paperwork and as one of my duties. I was a neighborhood director, but I also helped with national, international, what they called wider ops, and which meant it was an opportunity for a person to go somewhere to travel with a group of other females, and this was young ladies of 18 and under with escorts, and go experience things in the world. And I had told one person who had approached me because I'd helped my daughter on wider ops. I'd been on them myself, and she asked, "Well, how do we get our daughter into a wider op?" And it's just, I said, put every detail down, and I told her, do every detail. Start with a state wider op, or in the United States wider op, and then work your way up to an international one. Because the more experience you have, you will be accepted to get into the more advanced type of a wider opportunity. And I helped them with that, and then I didn't hear anything from them. And I ran into them in a mall a few years later, and they came over and they expressed their gratitude. And they said, the advice you gave us, it worked. And the girl got to go on like 3 different wider ops, one statewide, one national, and then one out of the country. And they said, we just wanted to let you know that we are so grateful. So that's expressing gratitude. You do something for somebody, and you turn around and you tell the person when you run into them again, whether it's a loved one or a friend or somebody you've helped out, and you tell them what the difference that you made in their life, or they made in your life. So you tell them that. Do something a little but thoughtful for them, like cleaning up after a big party. It's even if it's just cleaning up your own area, and they're busy putting things away and nobody else is helping, and they've all run to the TV screen, they're watching sports or whatever. Helping a person clean up. It's little things sometimes. Sometimes it's changing the roll of the toilet paper when you walk in and there's a basket of all these little empty rolls, and you check under the cupboards and stuff, and you find the roll of toilet paper and you stick it on there, and have it rolling off in the right direction. So little things. Grateful things, and it's just like, oh yeah, your bathroom needed toilet paper. I found it. I took care of it. But yeah, usually it's bachelors or single women that leave the little pile there. But anyway, it's like, okay, or I'll bring one if I know a person is hard up, and they usually, toilet paper is not high on their list of things, and they're between jobs. I will bring one over, bring them a roll, and brought this roll so that I have something to use, but I'm leaving it here for you. And it's 1,000 to a roll, and it'll last you a while. So yeah, little things, just little things, and it's gratitude. It's gratitude. A long, intimate hug. If a person likes a hug. I mean, I have been approached by people who just like, oh, and they got the wide open arms, and I just gotta hug you, and then they give you this big bear hug, and it's just like, oh my God, okay, this person's got horrible energy. But anyway, if a person doesn't like hugs, what you do is you stick out your hand and give them a handshake instead. And just say, if you don't like hugs, let it be known you don't like hugs, and give them a handshake. And if you have to, do a hand hug. I mean, it's just not a one-handed thing. Take and put the other hand over their hand as well, and that's in lieu of a real hug. But you have to cater to people's preferences. Okay, some people are germophobic. Some people just don't like touching other people that they really don't know, or they just don't like being touched. So if giving them a handshake and giving them that double handshake, and don't do it really, really tight and long time, just, very brief, and let go. And, anything just to make them smile. Some people really enjoy the hugs. It depends on who it is. But others don't. They don't enjoy hugs. But showing your gratitude in that way, showing gratitude. So we'll move on and tell the person that if there is anything they want to talk about, that you're there for them. That's showing gratitude. But then if you do it, don't sit there and text on your phone or pay attention to the TV or whatever. Sometimes I'll even tell people, can we turn the TV off? Can we turn the radio off? Can we put the cell phones on silence? And then give them your full attention. That is a form of gratitude, giving a person your full attention so that they can say whatever they want to say. And just even if it's just that they've had a bad day, they just need to talk to somebody, they just need to let go of it all, give them some gratitude and let them do that, but give them your full attention. And then usually they'll show you gratitude at the very end. They'll say, thank you so much. I just needed to get that off my chest. I needed somebody that I could talk to. So the gratitude will end up going both ways. Invite a person to something you know that they've always wanted to go to but never had the opportunity. That's also showing gratitude. This is a person that you love. This is a person that you like. Take them out to a nice restaurant. Take them to a movie that they've wanted to see, but maybe they can't afford to go see it themselves. I get this kind of gratitude all the time from my children, and you'll see it up on my Facebook page. I'm out to dinner with such and such son, or I'm out to dinner with such and such daughter, or I'm having me time. And that's self-gratitude, but it's something that you pass on these habits. When you show gratitude to others, your next generation, if you show them gratitude when they were younger, or they see it in the family or in friends, then they will turn around and give that gratitude back to others, even their own parents, their grandparents, and their own friends, as a matter of fact. So this gratitude, it comes around, it goes around this way, and pass it on to the next generation. I'm proud to say that the next generation in my family has that gratitude. I'm hoping the grandchildren do as well. We'll see how they do with that. So, encourage them to try something that you know that they wanted to try, but they were always too scared to. It's like when I went to New York with my aunt. She lives in New York all her life, like 30 minutes from Niagara Falls, and she never got on the Maid of the Mist because she was scared. The Maid of the Mist is it's a little boat that you load people on with these blue ponchos, and it goes right up to the falls. You get wet, you get the mists, and you go all the way around the falls, and you get to do the close-up thing. I mean, you get soaked. That's why they give you blue ponchos that cover your entire head and body for the trip as part of the cost, which you get to take home. I still have mine. But it's like she'd always been scared to do it, and then she said, well, I don't have any money for it. And I said, I've got my money, you've paid for other things, and I want you to go on the Maid of the Mist. I want you to enjoy the falls close up. And she was very grateful for that. She went, she had fun, she enjoyed herself. We took millions of pictures, so gratitude, taking somebody on something they've always wanted to do but been too scared to. And she didn't know why she had been scared to do it all the rest of her life, but she really enjoyed it. So she will probably take somebody else in the future. Do something for a person when you know that they don't enjoy doing it themselves. such as mowing a lawn, or helping them with some weeds, or helping them sort through things. I tend to help people sort through clutter. I did this last week. I did. Yeah, it was last week. It was after the radio show. Went into my son's room, and I had been telling him for weeks that he needs to get rid of the clutter and the trash in his room. Well, he's an adult now. He's in his mid-20s, and it's just like you go in and you can tell that it's gotten to the point where it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. So I went in there with the trash bag, pulled all the trash out, pulled all the recycle out, pulled all the dirty laundry out, put a latch on his wardrobe so the cats wouldn't get in there and make fuzzy bedding out of his clothes, washed everything, which was we suspect why the laundry had an issue with the plumbing, because everything that came off of the clothes went into my sewer and plugged it up. So, but the thing is that he was grateful. His siblings, I posted up on Facebook that I was cleaning a person's room, and they know when mom gets in there and does something that mom does a bang out job and indifferently gets rid of stuff. Well, what I did is I just sorted through his stuff, washed his laundry in it, and then mopped his floor, and it left the entire room in the middle empty. And instead of being angry like his siblings thought he would be, he was actually grateful. And when he had a day off, we went and we purchased organizers so that he could get the certain things off the floor and into the closet and organize it. And he says, I'm going to do this myself. I want to do it myself. And I went, that's fine. If you need help putting the organizers together, I'll help you with that. You can do the rest yourself. And so he still has a clear, clean room. Things are organized, and he actually finished the project. I mean, it gets overwhelming sometimes. I've done that for other people where their homes they've been pregnant, they can't keep up with stuff, they've got kids, and this is relatives or good friends, and it's just like it becomes so overwhelming that they can't even do a little area at a time. So it's just like you go over, and I've gone over and taken a son or two with me and helped other people go through, and sometimes it takes a couple days to get through it all, but once they get past the overwhelming piece, they're able to keep it up themselves. They just, for one reason, either illness or pregnancy or depression or whatever's going on, could not go forward with it. And and I usually will tell them, I said, when we got to the bottom of those dishes that you had all over the table and all over the counters and in the sink, I found the carcass of a turkey in a roaster from a month ago. I said, I don't want to ever see that again. I said, we cleaned everything up. Do not ever have that happen again. If you get into trouble and need help, you enlist your husband, your kids, or you give me a call, and I will get on everybody's ass about it. So it's just like showing gratitude that way is by helping them with something that that they don't like doing. Or they become overwhelmed. And they do show you gratitude in return. Usually later, it's either a thank you, or it's an invite to dinner, or another holiday, and it's just like, and I did all the work. They'll tell you, and they just said, you helped me get through that period of time. Now I'm able to do it myself. And sometimes it's taking also and doing a teaching moment with people. But when you give gratitude, sometimes it's a compliment. When you're showing gratitude to a person and they've got a talent or a skill or a strength that you admire, give them a compliment. That's also a form of gratitude. And it's something that people really appreciate, especially when they don't hear it very often, or they've never heard it at all. Somebody appreciate what they do, or you're giving another whole perspective on it, and it's a big compliment. And you watch their eyes light up, and it's just like, that they really needed that. They really needed that type of gratitude. They feel underappreciated sometimes. Look a person straight in the eye when you talk to them. Look them straight in the eye and say, you know what? You make the world a better place. You make the world a better place. Then give them an example. Give them an example. Sometimes it doesn't require an example, but it's nice if you can bring forward an example for for the person so that they understand why you are saying that. And so giving them that form of gratitude. Now, when we give gratitude, sometimes it's not always people that we like. It's sometimes people that really, really challenge us. And they are your growing pains sometimes, but give them gratitude anyway. Fully listen to what they have to say. It's just like, okay, I don't agree with this person, but they are getting it out. They want to they want to give their point of view, and sometimes that's all they want is to be heard. They want to give their point of view. So listen to what they have to say, and do it instead of trying to give a rebuttal to everything. And what you do with that then is you say, thank you for giving me your point of view. I will think. You've given me something to think about. I will definitely think about it. And thank you. So instead of arguing, and sometimes because arguing is very counterproductive, it's not going to get you anywhere, because the person will continue to argue back, and they will always have a rebuttal. Sometimes it's just listen to it, say thank you for your opinion, or we can agree to disagree, and but that's all that they want. So a little bit of gratitude it goes a long way, especially when you've got a person who's challenging you. They're definitely challenging you, and it's just like when you give them something that they can't challenge you with any further, then the subject is done, at least for the moment. And it's just like I was riding in a car with a friend the other day, and he's giving me all this drama and stuff, and he's going, how come you are you sick or something? And I was driving the car, and are you sick or something, because you're not really getting into all of this. And I said, well, one, it's a lot of drama, and two, I'm just kind of mellow, and I'll listen to it, but I've got no opinion on it, because I just, the drama is your drama, it's not mine. So I said, I'm mellow today. There's nothing wrong with me, and you're not going to set me off or anything. And you can continue talking about whatever it is you're talking about, because obviously you need to get it all out, but don't expect me to get into the drama, or to make an argument, or to ask deeper questions or anything, because you know what? I'm just mellow today. But thank you anyway. And I said, and some of that information I really didn't need to know, but I'm just going to let it go in one ear and out the other and not get involved with it. So sometimes people really, really will challenge you. Just thank them for, introducing you a new way to look at things, but it doesn't mean you always have to agree with them. And you can sometimes let them know, it's just that I'm glad you showed me your point of view. Don't agree with it, whatever, but thank you. And that's a form of gratitude. And again, they just want to be heard sometimes. Pinpoint something you admire about the commitment to their beliefs, even though it's not a belief system of your own. I run into that a lot with politics, with religion, with even sports. It just depends on what it is. My late husband, he would be committed to the unions. He's committed to debating about things, and it's just like it didn't matter which side you took, he'd debate the opposite side. So it's with people like that, it's not a win situation. So it's just basically okay. And I set down a boundary. I said, we will not talk politics or religion. And I just set that boundary. I said, politics and religion, take it somewhere else, because I will not argue those things with you. I have a different belief system, different point of view, and you can tell me what your opinion is, but don't expect me to argue with you over it. And he got the point. It took a few times of repeating that, and he finally took it elsewhere. And he would try and pull it with the kids, and the kids would do the same thing. I have no opinion on that. But if you want to argue, go argue with somebody that loves to argue with you. So But tell them, I admire your commitment, and it's not what I'm committed to, but thank you, and move on. Resist the urge to tell them they're wrong, because if it's their belief system, it's their belief system. Show them gratitude in a way of having respect for what they believe in. I saw a friend post something about, and she's Wiccan, and she posts something on Facebook about her personal beliefs and how she was constantly being harassed by Christians. And then she had put up a sign on her door about her belief system, and please don't, harass me with yours unless you're going to listen to mine. And she got jumped all over on Facebook about it. And she said, look, this is my wall. I will post my opinions. If you don't like it, don't read it. So it's just like she's got a commitment to what her beliefs are. And you have to resist the urge to tell them they're wrong. And other people do tend to tell people they try and convert people, actually, that this is my religion, and I'm going to just spread that religion all over your, belief system. And it's just like, don't try and convert me. I'll respect what you have. Don't try to convert me. So resist the urge to tell them when they're wrong. I find that usually, especially with the religion issue, I have a neighborhood where we get the Jehovah's Witness, we get the Mormons. I'll be polite. I will tell them that I will accept their paperwork, and but I'm busy at the moment. And I actually was out pruning bushes once, and a couple of Mormon kids. They were actually maybe early 20s, and they came by, and they're talking about their temple, trying to invite me to it. So yeah, I've been out there. I've seen the place. It's very nice. And I told them about a couple of the rooms there so that they knew that I had been down there, even though it was years ago. And I said, yes, I've been to the annual pageant and yada yada yada. And they went, oh, that's really nice. Blah 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 blah. And they go, can we help you with your gardening? And I went, no, I'm almost done. Doing it myself. I'm very capable, but I really appreciate it. It was I think last summer, and it's just like they're in long sleeves. That's how they dress up: white shirt, long sleeves, black pants, and I'm going. Thank you very much, but I don't really want to see you get your clothes dirty, and thank you for the discussion. They gave me the paperwork, and I never heard from them again. So it's just basically treat them with respect. And if you know anything about their religion, give them a couple minutes, and then they move on. The Jehovah's Witnesses will hand me paperwork all the time, and I go, thank you. I shall read it. And then they'll ask me, where are the Spanish speakers in the neighborhood? And I'll point to the house next door, and they probably just love me for doing that. But yeah. They over there, they speak Spanish. Okay. So it's just like, don't tell them they're wrong. Don't get into an argument with them. And they feel very grateful that you've given them a couple minutes of your time. And then they move on. And if you challenge a person right back, let it be something where that it brings out the best that they can be. Now, getting them into an argument is not bringing out the best that they can be. If you're going to challenge them back, challenge them with love, positive intentions, and a point of view, but leave it open. Leave it open. And if they inspired you to go out of your comfort zone, or and you've done the same thing to them, but it can be one way. If they inspired you to go out of your comfort zone, and I do that with people a lot, thank them for inspiring you to take a risk, and then get back to them later on. Let them know how did that work out for them, or how did it work out for you. It depends on who's doing the challenging, and I've done that to people, and people have done that back, and it's basically it's a learning experience, and so you just let them know how it turned out, and that's a form of gratitude as well. Use the situation with the person who's challenging to you. Use it as a lesson that this person teaches you through your interactions, and the lessons usually are patience, compassion, courage, and it's very interesting when you're working with a challenging person, and and a challenging person is somebody usually that you don't always like them, um, but you can actually use that interaction as a lesson, a life lesson. Sometimes the lesson is, oh my God, I do not wish to be involved with this person, and then you move on. Or this is not what I want to be. And I let that go on in my head. This is not what I want to be. And it gets to be very interesting sometimes. Very, very interesting. And also introduce them to somebody who may challenge them. If they're looking for a challenge, they're looking for somebody to give an opposite point of view. Sometimes you just need to introduce them to somebody that is going to give them that challenge. And you know what? It's going to also give them the opportunity to grow. And they may come back later and say, "Oh my God, you introduced me to this person," and it's like, I learned so much, and it's just like, okay, I'm glad I wasn't the one on the receiving end of that. So yeah, challenges. People who serve you, okay, showing people gratitude who serve you. And this could be a family member, this could be a public service member, this could be a waitress in a restaurant. And if they served you well, show your gratitude. Sometimes when somebody serves me really well in a restaurant situation, not only do I leave a tip, but I also leave a compliment, and I will talk to the person and make sure that they're the one getting the tip, and letting them know what it was that they did that was above and beyond. Sometimes I get a person like that it's above and beyond, or compliment their attitude, or the way that they served you, or how fast that they served you, and they don't get to hear a lot of the good stuff. They get to hear a lot of the complaints and people sending back plates, and this isn't right, and I ordered that, and blah blah blah, and this is not cooked correctly, and so tip them, not only with money, but leave them a compliment. Okay, leave them a compliment. And I usually do the compliment piece face to face. If they have a tip jar, okay, if you're in a situation where you're in an event, they have a tip jar. Otherwise, they may be giving a service for free. And I've worked a lot of events like that, that sometimes they allow you to have a tip jar and sometimes they don't. If they don't allow you to have a tip jar, I will usually ask a person if they would like to leave a tip today. If not, I will just give them my business card. And so along with whatever they put in the tip jar, or what you put in their tip jar, if you're going to where they're doing service for you, leave a little note of appreciation. Even if you've got to walk away for a few minutes and they're moving on, write out your little note of appreciation. You can put it on a business card, piece of paper, whatever it is. Along with your tip, go over and put it in their jar. They like feedback. They like to hear what they're doing right. So give them a compliment that way. And smile at people. Smile at people when you enlist their service. Smiles are contagious, so give them one. It doesn't cost you anything. And sometimes people just have these stern faces, and they're dealing with a lot of stress. They're dealing with a lot of pressure. They're trying to take care of people. Give them a smile now and then, and engage even in a couple of words with them. Do that at the grocery store a lot. You go through the grocery store and they'll ask how your day is, and they'll tell you, and you'll hear people going, "Oh, it's fine," and then they drop it from there. And it's just like, so I engage back. How's your day been? You getting to go home soon? What's it for you? And just engage in them. And if the line's not really long, I mean, if it's just you and the cashier, if you've got one of those places where they've got all the lines open, thank God. then you can do a couple of minute engagement while she's, he or she is checking your stuff out and bagging it and stuff, and they appreciate being, able to talk to people as well. If they serve you regularly, acknowledge something that they always do well. Like working efficiently, staying calm under pressure, exhibiting patience. Um, it helps them. It helps them. It helps relieve some of that pressure. Okay. Um, Letting their superior know what an outstanding job they're doing. A lot of times I will be in a restaurant and the managers will come around. Is everything okay? Olive Garden is good for that. IHOP's another one that's really good for that. Is everything okay today? And what you can do at that point, other than saying, yes, everything's okay, you can also compliment your server. It does get back to them. It does get back to them. People who serve you, when you go to and I'm going to use a restaurant again because that's the easiest one. I do go out with my family a lot. What we do is we clean up after ourselves. If there's an empty plate that we're finished with, we'll get all the little paper stuff, the leftovers from the straws and the napkin wrappers and the sugar packets and everything else. We will put them all on a plate. Put them all on a plate and clean up as much as possible. Move it to the end of the table so that when the server comes by, all that disappears. And at the end of our meal session, we do the same thing. We pile everything up and put all the trash on the top, and they know that they can take it. And it helps them because then they just have, one or two trips that they have to make. They don't have to. They don't have to come back and clean up your mess. Unless you've got a 1-year-old that's just making what we call a food circle around the high chair. Then just you'll leave a tip. You apologize for that. It's a 1-year-old, so it's just like kid doesn't understand that everything has to stay on the high chair or on the table. So it's just like exhibit patience, do what you can, to clean up after yourselves, and leave them an extra tip, especially if you've got the kid making the food circle. They always love cleaning that up afterwards. They have to bring in the vacuum or the little hand push thing. If somebody is working in or outside your home, offer them coffee. Offer them tea. Would you like something to drink? Would you like a glass of water? And praise them in a review. If it's somebody you've hired to come into the home, praise them on like Yelp or something where they can, it's advertising for them to get more work. If they've done an outstanding job, let them know. Or even send them an email of appreciation, okay? And let them know you're just expressing your appreciation so they don't have to write you back. They don't have to say anything because that takes time out of their day too, and they're usually very, very busy. Okay, well, gratitude, and I've talked a lot about different things. I had a 16-year-old cat that died today. Not today, but this last week, a couple days ago. And she was winding down. And I've had elder cats before. And usually when I get a cat, they usually die somewhere between 16 and 18. And it's usually of old age, body failure, whatever. I had one that was winding down. It took her 3 months to wind down finally. And it was like it got to the point where I had to go in and clean her up twice a day. I had to put on the cone of shame to keep her from gouging herself with her hind toenails and keep her clean and make sure she ate and clean up the box. And finally it got to the very end where the box had to go because she couldn't get into it. And we just put down the little puppy pad type thing so that she had her area and help her as much as possible. I was very grateful to Source, to Spirit, when she finally did pass. It looked like she was going to recover for a while. She got her appetite back, but that only lasted for a while, and had to do the baby food thing and had to do the moist cat food, and I could tell that she was going to wind down. The boys had been, my sons live with me. The boys knew that she was winding down, and they were asking, when she does pass, can we have our bathroom back? Because that was her area. I said, you can use it, just walk around her stuff. Because I was cleaning it twice a day anyway. So I would ask Spirit, I went, when she passes, just let it go peacefully, let it happen. And she finally slipped into a coma a few days ago in the evening, and I took her out of their bathroom and removed all the stuff. And I knew this was going to happen, and let her lay in a basket. She was in a coma. She's still breathing. And I'm asking Spirit to take her during the night. And the next day gave a lot of gratitude back to Spirit for doing that, for her passing, and giving me a heads up, because then I had a place to bury her already prepared. It was already dug up. I knew what I was going to do with it. And if you want to see it, it's on Facebook. There is a photo there, but and took care of everything and was able to prepare. Gave a lot of gratitude for Spirit. And then my sons gave me a lot of gratitude for cleaning up the bathroom afterwards and going in and scrubbing it down and removing everything that was in there. It was a big rigmarole having to deal with that. So that won't happen again for a long time, because I think my oldest cats now are only 10. Only 10. And goes down to 4 years old. So but it won't happen again for quite a while. But I give a lot of gratitude to Spirit for releasing her. My sons gave me gratitude for getting their bathroom back. So things happen. Things happen. And even when bad things happen, give your gratitude. Give your gratitude. Oh, yeah, last night during the tarot class, well, actually it was before the tarot class, one of my students came. Both of my students that I had in class last night are very spirit connected. They're both mediums. They've got other things going on. One's a channel. One's got other spirit connections, and they have their own belief systems, and they have their own dealings with spirit. Well, before they came into the house, I got visited by a very heavy entity, which stopped my back spasms for a few minutes anyway, just to let me know it was there. It wasn't one of mine. I knew it wasn't one of the other gentlemen's. I knew it was the younger gentleman, and it's just like, okay, well, he's got to be here. And I went and looked out the kitchen window. He's there in the car. He's making a phone call, and one of his entities had decided to visit me, and waited until later in the class, and I had to excuse myself and get up and down because my back spasms had come back, and took a break for a couple of minutes, and came back, and we did our readings, and they did their learning and everything, and at the very end of class, we started talking about energy and spirits and stuff, and I let him know that he brought one with him, and that about the last 20 minutes of class, it finally left. I was very grateful for that. He said, who was it? I said, well, I know it was one of yours. It was either Kali or Shiva. I said, they had energy that was making me nauseous. It was making me nauseous, but basically they were just checking me out and what you were doing in my class. So, and I did give a gratefulness to Source, because I asked Source during the class, please take this thing out of here, whoever it is, at some point, so that I'm not feeling nauseous anymore. And I wasn't the only one in the room that noticed the energy, because he's saying, well, I kept feeling a presence too. I thought maybe you had one of yours working on me. I went, I think they were just checking us out. Yours was checking me out. Mine was checking out yours. And then the other gentleman, who's a medium in a channel, is just like, man, I knew there were a lot of spirits in this house. I said, yeah, I'm not teaching at a venue right now. We're teaching in my house. You're in my stomping grounds. There will be a lot of spirits here. So just get used to it. And if one of them, bothers you, just let me know about it. I do not get upset about that. So, yeah. And I give my gratitude to, them bringing what they have with them, and their spirits bringing what they have as well. and then getting readings back from my spirit after the people left as to why I got that visit. And basically it was they're checking me out. They were happy with it, and they decided that they were going to leave me alone. That I was worthy enough to be a teacher for this person. It's just like, okay, people with high entities or high spirits. Sometimes it's unusual. So especially if you're working in a whole different area of life than other people are. And gratitude, I show gratitude every day to Spirit in the morning when I get up, and in the evening when I go to bed, and then we discuss all the problems and stuff. But it's just like they bring me challenges, and in the morning I tell them, this is my agenda. You know what my list is, and I have my list every week that I do, and then that I redo at the end of the week. And now I show you my list every week. I have lists of stuff to do. And it's just like this and this and this is on my agenda for today. But I'm concerned about this other problem that we're having. And it's not allowing me to sleep at night because these are little living things that are making noise up in the eaves of the house. I said, I need to know how they're getting in because I've been on the roof. It's not up there. I've been in certain areas inside the house. I've checked the vents. It's not there. And I'm a little concerned where the heck they're getting in. So they tell me to go out and clean the porch instead of mowing the lawn and planting things and doing all what I needed to do. They tell me to go out and do the porch. And I pulled everything away from the walls of the porch, and I found the entry area, and I went, oh, crap. But used found objects that I already had for other projects to plug that up, to clean it out, and gave a lot of gratitude for Spirit because they took me to my concern instead of my own list and got rid of the problem. We'll see you next week.
You're listening to AchieveRadio.com, the positive side of broadcasting.